Hey, I'm Adam D with the Local Connect and KW Realty. Thanks again for coming back and watching another monthly market real estate update this month for October 2024. Every month we bring you these videos to let you know exactly what's going on in the market, not only here locally at the South Jersey Shore, but also across the entire United States. I want to share some boots on the ground perspective, what I'm seeing day to day in my real estate practice. If you like these videos and you want to help support the channel here, please hit the subscribe button. It'll help me alert you of all things real estate. So we saw summer 2024 end with a really competitive real estate market. It was very busy. And now heading into the fall market, into October right now, we have seen a little bit of a slowdown. And that's for a number of reasons. But what the data is showing us is that there are actually more listings on the market, fewer properties going under contract, and because of that, inventory being a little bit higher. And I say a little bit because we haven't seen any extreme changes, but we're starting to see a trend develop. So we're going to closely monitor if this trend continues, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about when we dig into the numbers here. Now, I've also seen a lot of people who have told me that they've put their real estate plans on hold until after the election. Now, if you go back to some previous posts of mine, you'll see that we really looked into the real estate data following an election, and ordinarily there's no immediate impact to the real estate market following an election. So what I would pay more attention to is if this inventory level tends to continue increasing. If you're a buyer, that might mean that there's more to choose from. If you're a seller, that may mean that you are competing with more properties in order to sell. A lot of times we will see a reduction in inventory during the dead winter months. This year, we may not follow that trend. We may see a little bit of a bump up in inventory in the winter months. And so there's some pros and cons to that. So let's dig into the numbers and see exactly what's going on. All right, so digging right into the numbers, this is our local South Jersey Shore area, Atlantic and Cape May counties, the islands, immediate offshore points. We're looking at active listings, and we're noticing a trend here. So there are more listings on the market this past September 2024 versus September 2023, for example. So if you take a look at the numbers here, you will notice that we have a couple hundred more listings on the market. So not a drastic increase, but there's definitely something to speak of here, and it's increasing inventory a little bit. So now when we look at pending or under contract listings, we will also notice there's a little bit of a trend here too. There's been a small decline in the number of contracts. So if you think about it, more listings coming on the market, less going under contract. That's going to lead us to our next graph, which is inventory, the number of properties on the market. And so you will notice that our inventory level, 3.4 months, is almost a full month higher than it was in September 23, 2.5 months. So again, still a seller's market. It has not yet hit a neutral market, let alone a buyer's market, but there's some numbers to speak of here. And inventory increasing does mean a little bit of a slowdown to the market, might mean that it's taking a little bit longer to sell. For a buyer, it might mean that there's more to choose from. And for a seller, it may mean that there's more properties that you're competing with in order to get your property sold. And now talking about days on market, this data tells us that's very much the same. So we have not seen an increase in days on market. In fact, according to this data, we saw a 2-day decline on days on market. So it's still taking about the same amount of time for a property to sell. Now, just another way to look at this data, we're looking at year to date, comparing 2022, 23, and 24. And 2022 is one of those unicorn years, and we see that there were significantly more listings that year compared to 23, and 24 we're seeing a little bump up compared to 23. Pending listings, far more properties going under contract in 2022, major decrease in 23, and then even a little bit of a further decline in 2024. So there's less properties going under contract over the past 3 years. And again, those two things lead to inventory levels, and you will see that inventory in 2024 year to date certainly higher than 23, which was also higher than 2022. So the story here is that we are starting to see a trend of inventory levels increasing. Now here's the graph with showings, buyers walking through the door looking at properties for sale in New Jersey right now. The orange line is 2024, and you'll see we're right in the middle. We're still above the 2023 numbers. So there's actually more showings or more property or more buyers walking through the door right now. So still really good time to sell your property given the number of buyers that are out looking for properties right now. Now, we've seen a lot of changes to interest rates recently. You'll see on this graph here, you know, we saw them bottom out right around 6% or so. This was before the Feds changed the rate, because a lot of that, you know, expected rate reduction was built into mortgage rates. But we'll see very recently here, you know, due to some economic data, that the rates have bumped back up a little bit. So they're back to where they were. So a lot of volatility in rates right now. I think we'll see them come back down possibly again, certainly before the end of the year here, but something to continue monitoring. That we know they got down close to around that 6% number, you know, give or take, depending on the program you're looking at. Now, this is the national data overall across the country here. Kind of what we've been talking about even in our local data here. You will see the number of homes for sale is increasing. So there's more homes for sale, you know, compared to recent years here. And we're almost, you know, right in the middle between what we'll call the pre-pandemic or pre-COVID years to the post-pandemic or post-COVID years below. And here's the new listings, you know, properties coming into the market. You know, naturally we tend to see a decline of new listings coming on the market in the winter months. Around December is the lowest point. And what we're seeing so far in this year is we're seeing this trend that may directly conflict with what the normal seasonal trends are. So right now we're on an upward swing of new listings, where normally this time of year things tend to trend downward. So we'll have a little more clarity on this next month, but we'll continue to monitor it. And as we always do, we wrap up these numbers with some projections. So it looks like a lot of the experts predict that mortgage interest rates are going to continue to decline, not only through this year, but through next year as well. And home price forecasts. So next year, 2025, all of the experts on this graph here all predict appreciation for 2025. Nothing crazy, nothing off the map. You know, we're talking about normal appreciation, 2 to 3% appreciation, but property value is still increasing. So there you have it. There's the numbers, so you can see exactly what's going on here at the South Jersey Shore, as well as all across the United States. If you're a buyer, interest rates may continue to fluctuate. They were much lower. The past couple of weeks, they've bumped up a little bit more. I'm a little unsure what the Feds are going to do at their next Fed meeting. There's some speculation that they're going to reduce rates again. I'm not sure that's going to happen. It's really going to depend on some of the other data. But there may be a little bit more properties to choose from, although I don't think that prices are going to go down at all. And if you're a seller, if inventory continues to increase, you will have more competition, and the best time to sell is when there's the fewest properties available for sale or the fewest properties for you to compete with. So we can always talk about that and see when the best time for it would be for you to sell, so that we can monitor those inventory levels closely. If you need any real estate help, my contact information is right below this video here. I can help you personally at the South Jersey Shore, Atlantic and Cape May counties, as well as my agent partners all across the United States and the international destinations as well, if you need any help anywhere else. Thanks again for viewing, and I'll talk to you on the next video.